Afro-Latina of Dominican descent. As a young teen, I was told that I had an old soul. Maturity received this recognition, and it became my reality at a young age. I realized that a lifetime of trauma gifted my entire family humbling lessons that ultimately sculpted me into the resilient and bright light that I am described to be. However, recently I began to see me and began to see overall more and more who I really am and who I really come from. I went from being an altar server and church-living Catholic kid in Miami to culture shocked and confused as a student at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, to a brief life in Chicago, followed by Iowa. What? And now to St. Louis. Apparently anything that was not home was great to me. As a young adult, I found myself seeking a life that did not put me in a box and allowed me to break away from pieces of my family I swore I wanted no part of. With a deep desire to do more, I poured my focus into being anything but what I knew, from home at least. My secret art skills led me to study graphic design. It was so impressive to me to learn how to communicate without speaking. While in school, I lost myself in music as a piccolo player for the incomparable FAMU's Marching 100 band. Yes, it's very incomparable. If you know, you know. And we performed for President Obama twice. We were live on ESPN, and we performed with Prince at Super Bowl 41. I was the first to graduate from a university and work in her children's field. I got a gig with a corporate company with all the benefits and got to where I was busting my ass to be, away from home and making it on my own. To my beautiful Dominican immigrant parents, I was a success story. Yet being busy was my default excuse to keep me from facing the truth of me not knowing myself. I didn't know who I wanted to be, and I began to quietly resent my life. This all started catching up with my old soul. I began to feel this weight of blame and eventually anger. And then I actually had the absolute audacity to shift responsibility of my own lack of understanding myself to a pair of hardworking, resilient, old school Dominicans, blaming them for my misfortunes with love and awkward friendships. My newfound courage to share these feelings with my parents eventually prompted my dad to say, lovingly might I add, what I eat does not make you shit. That moment gave me a new level of clarity. I mean, at that point, I thought my parents and I were old friends, like 21 plus years in the game, but I realized I didn't know them at all. I never understood the humble beginnings they came from until I asked my parents, who were you before we happened to you? Who was Andrea before motherhood transformed her life, where she found herself to be a submissive, loving, kind, really hardworking warrior, yet selfless being? Who was Domingo, the boy kidnapped by his own father in the 50s, simply to torment his mother as she worked hard to love and care for him and his sister? He took them across the country to live in a reality of poverty, abuse, and not being loved. Mommy is a beautiful, timid soul who is the definition of selfless and loving and submissive to a fault. And as much as I wished to not be like her, as a teenager, I'm literally a reflection of this beautiful 4'11" woman, okay? Coming from a large family in La Vega, República Dominicana, where her mother humbly survived, begging in front of churches to provide for her family, despite being sick herself. Mommy didn't see what I saw. She called her naive, innocent, and beautiful spirit stupid, a failure for not pursuing more for herself. Mind you, because of her, our family remained together. Her patience and compassion was and is a lesson that made me the woman I am. Because of her, we still are here. She slaved in the glorious 5-star South Beach Hotel's housekeeping for our family. Because of her, my father isn't dead to the drugs that plagued our lives then. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me how we fight our own light, not seeing all the magic in ourselves. Papi, the charismatic Dominicano, a chef, a construction worker, a gardener, a provider, a brilliant comedian, forever dismissed as a drug addict and tarnished with the views that come with that, all while also being judged by his blackness. He has survived so much, yet his vulnerability, his pain, his trauma are overlooked. Forgiving him for his choices as a person lost in drugs, the stealing, the lying, the disappearing, the physically present but not mentally present, the strict father that once was to the man that stood before us, it was really difficult to navigate as a child. But Mommy always told us, forgive. Our relationship, she lost to a gap of time when I needed him most. He is now 15 years clean. It's never too late to find yourself. Humble beginnings brought my parents together. Courtship in its truest form. Transparency, family, love, marriage. Led them to this America to build and empower their budding family, leaving behind their entire reality. Asking, who are you? Helped me understand this pair I now proudly call my parents, and brought me to a place where I smile despite all that we survived. Seek joy and positivity in all things. We dance and laugh and sing, no matter what material things we lose. We dare to always be grateful, sweet, honest humans that shine unapologetically. I am Valeria, the baby of the 3 little lives Mommy and Papi brought into this world. I am part of the legacy of 2 Dominican teenagers who dared to dream, dared to love, fight, forgive, and stick together to live a life true to their values. I stand before you, sharing who I am because of Andrea and Domingo Rodriguez. I am a proud Dominican American. I am a multi-disciplinary artist, a designer, a friend, a partner, and an old soul. Living this life to intentionally pour into you with genuine love, kindness, and light to empower you to live your wildest dreams.